Right, hello and welcome to this week's weekly challenges in Gran Turismo 7. So, this week we have 5 events to go through to win 3 brand new prizes, which consist of all credit tickets. So yes, we are going to win a total of 800,000 credits this week, but it's going to be broken up into a 100,000 credit ticket, 200,000 credit ticket, and lastly 500,000 credit tickets. So for the events, we have a Sunday Cup Classic. This is going to be happening around Monza. We then followed up by an American Sunday Cup 600 around Road Atlanta. We have a Vision GT Trophy around Kyoto Driving Park. We have a Hypercor Parade around Saint Crux Layout C. And lastly, we see an event that a lot of people have wanted to come back, myself included. This is a All Japan GT Car Championship. Honestly, some of the best racing you're going to see in quite some time. And this event is going to be happening around Suzuka Circuit. So, before we get into that event, let's just start off from the beginning. So, the Sunday Cup Classic. This is a 2-lap event with no PP limits. And this event takes place around Monza, as I said. But you are going to find your vehicles being very low end. As we see, the recommended performance points rating is 350 performance points. This is honestly extremely slow vehicles at that 350 performance points rating. And if you are looking for a vehicle that will be around that performance points rating, you're mainly looking at your old European vehicles with a few Japanese vehicles, but you can really use whatever vehicle you want in this event. It doesn't really matter. For me, I went for vehicle around the 350 performance points rating, and this was the Auto Bianchi A112 Abarth. This vehicle, I was able to complete my lap times around the 2-minute 40-second mark, which look frankly is slow, but for 350 performance points you can't really expect over 300 kilometers per hour. This vehicle was good, it was fine, it did the job, and honestly, just do this event in a fast modern vehicle to get it done extremely quick, because honestly, jumping into slow vehicles really makes you realize that hey, there are some slow goats in Gran Turismo 7. So with that being said, it was good to live in a slow lane, but it is time to just pick up the speed and move on to the next event. So the second event finds us participating in the American Sunday Cup 600. So for this event, we have a suggested performance points rating of 600 performance points, which actually led me to choosing the Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat safety car. I know, a bit of a strange choice, but this was the vehicle that I had closest to the 600 performance points mark, and when I tell you, it was completely stock. Now, this vehicle was honestly extremely tail happy. It made mincemeat of the opponents. So even if your vehicle is under 600 performance points, well, you should not find any issue with completing this event. I turned this into a drift event at one point, and I still managed to come home with a win. So this event, you can pick whatever American vehicle you want and just absolutely have a blast around Road Atlanta. Now once again, this is a 3-lap event, and you can absolutely bang it out if you take it seriously and just choose a very OP vehicle. But for me, that was still goofing around. I was doing about a 1 minute 34 per lap, which overall, I mean, it took me under 5 minutes to complete this event, which honestly isn't bad at all. And with that being done, well, we had to move on to the next event. So for the next event, we see ourselves jumping into the Vision GT Trophy. I know everyone's favorite event, but this was actually happening at my favorite circuit, so I was absolutely buzzing. Now for this, I jumped into one of the newer Vision GT vehicles, which is actually the Skoda Vision GT. Now I know Vision GT vehicles isn't everyone's cup of tea, but look, it was still fun going around the circuit, and It is a bit of a lengthy event, as we see it's 7 laps around the circuit, but I was averaging lap times around the 1 minute 30-second mark, so it wasn't too bad. Overall, it did take me about 10 minutes and 24 seconds to complete this event, so a lot longer than the second event, but still it needs to get done because we need that second credit ticket, which is gonna be 200,000 credits. So I will suffer driving a Vision GT vehicle if it means I'm getting a decent amount of money. Then next up, one of my favorite, if not my favorite events of the week, the Hypercor Parade around St. Crux. For me, when it comes to this event or any Hypercor Parade, there's really only one go-to vehicle, and that is the Aston Martin Valkyrie. Now I know a lot of people are gonna say, oh, that vehicle is too powerful, it's cheesy in the event, use something more realistic. Look, it's a Hypercor Parade, I'm gonna use the ultimate hypercar in the game. This Aston Martin makes the opponents look slow. I have not seen another street car, I say that with quotations, that can make your Bugatti Chirons and anything of that caliber look slow. That's why I love using the Aston Martin Valkyrie, because it's absurd. You're traveling at almost 400 kilometers per hour. The braking is almost instantaneous. It's just extremely grippy. If you haven't driven the Aston Martin Valkyrie, you need to. Genuinely, you need to. It's such an amazing vehicle, and you need to get your hands on it and take it around this event. So, as I said, with it being an absolute walk in the park, I finished, I think, with over a minute lead between myself and second place, and that's still after I was being a bit foolish with my driving style and I was spinning out and crashing on the last lap. So I wasted a lot of valuable time, and I still finished with about a minute gap between myself and second place. Overall, it took me about 9 minutes to complete this event, which is just ridiculous if you think about it. But hey, that's just the power of the Aston Martin Valkyrie. Lastly, we have to look at the All Japan GT Car Championship. This event, I'm gonna come out right now and say, was my favorite of the week, because this event sees us going up against some absolute iconic vehicles. I mean, you're gonna find Porsche 911s, Ferrari F40s, Lamborghini Diablos, Nissan GTRs, Supras, NSXs. It's just a glorious race, and if you are a fan of 90s race cars, this is exactly the event you are looking for. We need a proper championship of these events being added to the game for offline mode. We don't need it coming in only every week now and then. We need it to be a consistent thing, because I'm telling you, I will play these events every single day. That is how good they are. And the crazy thing about it is, you can take this event extremely period correct. You can use vehicles that would participate in the series, or you can jump into a Tomahawk Vision GT and just throw it and just do it as quickly as possible. But if you do that, you are wasting this event. What you need to do is jump into a 90s vehicle. I don't know if you want to jump into a Tom Wood Supra, into a NSX Skyline, the GT500, it don't matter. Or even if you want to jump into your Nissan R32 Nismo, because you can use race cars, road cars, whatever you want to use, you can use it in this event. Now, this event, it was 7 laps around Suzuka circuit, and it was a full layout, and it was an absolute blast. Now there's no fuel consumption, there's no tire wear, so you can run your vehicles on racing softs and just feel the full capabilities of your GT500 vehicles or your road cars, and just enjoy it. But also watch out, you are going to be coming up against vehicles that are also in the GR2 category. So the vehicles you are racing against are not slow, and you do need to keep that in mind. For me, I jumped into the Honda NSX GT500, one of the latest additions to Gran Turismo 7, as I feel this vehicle fits this event to a T, and it has more than enough power, handling, and is just a great option. But for myself, I actually found it a bit of a challenge, which I enjoyed, because we see that the vehicle in first place was actually quite a bit of a ways ahead of me, and it took me quite a bit of time to actually just rein it in and actually just hold on to first place, because if I made any mistakes, second place was right there. I could not slip up, and it just made it such a rewarding experience to win this event. And that's how all weekly challenges should be. It should feel like, yes, I did it, I'm proud of myself, I'm proud of the vehicle, I'm proud of my driving. That is what you should feel when you are using or just participating in these events. That's why if you are cheesing these events, you're kind of missing the point of it being a weekly challenge. So try and be as close as possible. Try not to cheese the events. I know what you're gonna say, oh, but you cheesed it with the Aston Martin Valkyrie. That's not the point. This final All Japan GT Car Championship, we need this. Oh, imagine this around the Nordschleife for, oh boy, truly amazing stuff. But genuinely, this week, the first two events, but nothing really crazy. The Vision GT events, I know more than a majority of people aren't really gonna be happy. The Hypercor Parade was honestly worth your time, and the All Japan GT Car Championship is one of the best events in the game. So best believe you need to try it out as soon as possible. And with that being said, let me know your thoughts on this week's events, the prizes. Just let me know your thoughts on this week in Gran Turismo 7. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.